This is Joni Mitchell, and we're listening to The Difference with Todd Rundgren.
Hard bodies, soft emotions, so fast, so smart. The world is at your feet, but what about your heart? Fame and fortune can't hold you tight. The late, late hours of the night. How do you stop? How do you stop? All before it's too late. You choose and you lose if you hesitate. How do you stop? How do you stop? Before it's too late. You think love awaits so you don't hold on. Oh, and then it's gone. How do you stop? You've had success, lots of fancy friends. You've tasted the good life. You thought it would never end. One day you're too young, then you're in your prime, then you're looking back at the hands of time. How do you stop? How do you stop? Before it's too late. Oh, you choose and you lose if you hesitate. How do you stop? How do you stop? Before it's too late. You think love awaits so you don't hold on, and then it's done. How do you stop? Oh, how do you stop a runaway train? How do you stop the driving rain? How do you stop the ripening corn? How do you stop a baby being born? How do you stop before it's too late? Oh, you choose and you lose if you hesitate. How do you stop? How do you stop before it's too late? How do you stop? How do you stop? You're lost if you hesitate. How do you stop? How do you stop? Love from slipping away. How do you stop? How do you stop? Before it's too late.
Joni Mitchell, How Do You Stop? The song was written by Dan Hartman, originally recorded by James Brown, so maybe we'll get to see James and Joni at the Grammys together. Joni did a song on her album called Sex Kills, which is kind of a scary statement, and we wanted to know what it was all about.
Well, the strange thing, if you look at it like in terms of 100 years, or let's say 100 years will do. At the turn of the last century, we were also in the midst of a sexual plague, which had no cure. And the reaction at that time, under the guidance of Queen Victoria, was to pretend that sex didn't exist. So it was very extreme in the opposite directions. Even the legs of things were considered suggestive, and Victorian furniture is frequently skirted to cover the legs. Anything, a leg, like it might imply a glimpse of stocking. And yet I'm told that the brothels were never more active in this climate of extreme repression. So here we have another sexual plague at the turn of the next century, and yet the fashion designers like have you running around in your underwear.
Pulled up behind a Cadillac. We were waiting for the light. I took a look at his license plate. It said, just ice. It's justice, just ice. Governed by greed and lust. Just the strong doing what they can, and the weak suffering what they must. Oh, and the gas leaks, and the oil spills, and sex sells everything. Sex kills. Oh, sex kills. Doctor's pills give you brand new wills, and the bills bury you like an avalanche. Lawyers haven't been this popular since Robespierre slaughtered half of France. And Indian chiefs for their old beliefs know that the balance is undone. Crazy lines, you can feel it out in traffic. Everyone hates everyone, and the gas leaks, and the oil spills. Sex sells everything. Sex kills. Oh, sex kills. All these jackoffs at the office, the rapist in the pool, all the tragedies in the nurseries, little kids packing guns to school, the ulcerated ozone, these tumors of the skin, this hostile sun beating down. Massive mess we're in, and the gas leaks, and the oil spills, and sex sells everything. Sex kills. Sex kills. Sex kills. Oh, sex kills. Sex kills.
Sex Kills. Joni Mitchell from her new album Turbulent Indigo. You know, Joni has been so influential and had so many tunes covered by artists from Tom Rush to Tori Amos. We were sort of wondering how it all started.
Tom took a song called Urge for Going first. I think that was the first one. And he played it in a lot of clubs. And I don't remember first the playing and when the recording hit, I'm not exactly sure. But it opened up certain clubs for me, the Club 400, for instance, which was very clicky and hard to play, you know, like, and Tom's playing my song kind of heralded and opened the doors to some club work. Buffy St. Marie also took a couple of songs and traveled around with them, and Dave Van Ronk took a couple, and George Hamilton IV recorded "Urge for Going" too, and it was a country hit at that time. And then later Judy Collins.
Joni Mitchell talking about all those who have covered her masterpiece, Urge for Going, amongst other tunes. You know, she never did put that tune on any of her own albums. But we're going to play it now. Here's Tom Rush's original version from the album Circle Game.
And I woke up today and found a frost perched on the town. It hovered in a frozen sky and gobbled summer down. And when the sun turns traitor cold and shivering trees are standing in a naked row, and I get the urge for going, never seem to go. And I get the urge for going when the meadow grass is a-turning brown. Summertime is a-falling down, winter's closing in. I had a girl in summertime with summer-colored skin, and not another man in town my darling's heart could win. And when the leaves fell trembling down and bully winds rub their faces in the snow, she got the urge for going, and I had to let her go. And she got the urge for going when the meadow grass was a-turning brown. Summertime was a-falling down, and the winter's closing in. And the warriors of winter give a cold, triumphant shout, and all that stays is dying, all that lives is getting out. You see the geese in chevron flight, flapping and a-racing on before the snow. Got the urge for going, they've got the wings to go. And they get the urge for going when the meadow grass is a-turning brown. Summertime is a-falling down, the winter's closing in. I'll ply the fire with kindling, pull the blankets to my chin, and I'll lock the vagrant winter out and bolt my wandering in. I'd like to call back summertime and have her stay just another month or so. She's got the urge for going, and I guess she'll have to go. she gets the urge for going, when the meadow grass is turning brown, all her empires are falling down, winter's closing in, and I get the urge for going, when the meadow grass is a-turning brown, summertime is a-falling down.
Tom Rush and his fabulous version of Joni Mitchell's Urge for Going. Joni Mitchell has a heavy-duty, dank, thick new album out called Turbulent Indigo. Joni has a little bit of insight for her fans about where she's at regarding touring.
I am a polio survivor, and we now have a kind of another gauntlet to run, it turns out. You know, it's kind of like post-polio syndrome is a little bit like multiple sclerosis. You know, your wiring is kind of burning out. So, and also you don't metabolize correctly, so you can't. Extremes in heat and cold, same with MS. You can't. Air conditioning, fluorescent lights, all these things weaken you. And the muscles in my back, a lot of them are gone, you know, and the ones that are left are being driven by wires that are, one wire that should be driving one muscle is maybe driving 3 or 4, and they're weakening. And so the contortion that you put yourself in a guitar lead, you know, can lead to pain. And the other reason is like not a pretty topic either, but like I'm not an arena artist, and my music doesn't suit big halls. The cost of renting little halls is amazing. The artist pays all the expenses, everybody's hotel rooms. Last time I was out 9 months, and you know I made less than the roadie. You know, people don't realize the artist is the last to get paid, so you know you need some motivation. Everything in this business is viewed as self-promotion. You know, like. Unless you're an arena rock artist. And I mean, even the Stones are out there with such a huge entourage. You know, people think there's a lot of money crossing at the ticket office, but there's a tremendous amount going back out. You know, it's not as lucrative as one would think. And to go out for a period of time and break even is not attractive in my condition.
Coyote. We just come from such different sets of circumstance. I'm up all night in the studios and you're up early on your ranch. You'll be brushing out a broodmare's tail while the sun is ascending, and I'll just be getting home with my reel-to-reel. There's no comprehending just how close to the bone and the skin and the eyes and the lips you can get, and still feel so alone. Farmhouse burning down in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. We rolled right past that tragedy till we pulled into some roadhouse lights where a local band was playing. Locals are kicking and shaking on the floor. The next thing I know, that coyote's at my door. He pins me in a corner, he won't take no. He drags me out on the dance floor, and yeah, dancing close and slow. Now he's got a woman at home, he's got another woman down the hall. He seems to want me anyway. Why'd you have to get so drunk and lead me on that way? You just picked up a hitch, a prisoner of the white lines on the freeway. was on the road to Belgium in my old hometown. He went running through the whisker wheat, chasing some prize down. A hawk was playing with him. Coyote, he's jumping straight up and making passes. He got eyes like yours under your dark glasses, privately probing the public rooms, peeking through keyholes in numbered doors, where the players lick their wounds and take their temporary lovers, their pills and powders to get them through this passion play. Oh, no regrets, Coyote. I just get off up the ways. You just picked up a hitch, a prisoner of the white lines on the freeway. Coyote's in the coffee shop. He's staring a hole in his scrambled eggs. He picks up my scent on his fingers while he's watching the waitress's legs. He's too far from the Bay of Fundy, from Appaloosas and eagles and tides, the air-conditioned cubicles and the carbon ribbon routes. They're spelling it out so clear. Either he's gonna have to stand and fight or take off out of here. I try to run away myself, but run away and wrestle with my great big ego. And with this flame he left burning in this Eskimo,